Dear Bridget and friends, my friend Don in Atlanta and I were watching some of the old Jerry Lewis telethon from 1989 tonight on Instagram video chatting. And a segment popped up, and I put it in the appropriate room on your Discord because I feel it's worth sharing. And I included the disclaimer that Jerry made that no, none of us that are disabled with any kind of physical or other challenge want to be known merely as inspirational because we get up and live every morning. But I felt that this was a very moving video because this was before the internet. This was before the Ice Bucket Challenge. This was when A.L.S. really did kill you in a matter of months or a few years. Please watch.
Charlie, I would first of all like to thank you personally, Jerry, and MDA for helping in your incredible effort to find the cause and the cure for A.L.S. Actually, he'd also like to thank God for giving him the strength to cope with this frightening and devastating disease. And as you know, victims of A.L.S. struggle every moment of every day just to live. And so often I feel that I am a prisoner in my own body that has been given a life sentence. But I have chosen, with God's help, to attempt to turn this disadvantage into an advantage and this disability into an ability by attempting to live a meaningful and productive life. And we do this by traveling throughout the country, sharing our message of hope and encouragement to high schools, colleges, churches, service groups. And I think God really has a sense of humor to send someone on a speaking tour who can't even speak. Okay. And we need your help. Charlie says, we need your help. And he has a challenge for you, for all of you out there, to not only open up your pocketbooks and give financially to Jerry and his kids, but to open your hearts and make a personal commitment to make the difference in the lives of at least one disabled person, even if it's only a wink or a smile as you pass by. And time is of the essence. Every day can make a big difference. Every second. And, I'm sorry, every second and every minute of every day counts. It's so important. And every dollar will help. And you never know which dollar that it will be to make the difference and win the fight. Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you, Lucy. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Linda. Terry, thank you. Thank you. Don't be ashamed of those tears. That's why this courageous man lets us bring him here. Don't be ashamed of them. They are what life is about. We come here, we get swatted on the behind, and we start our lives with a cry, with a tear. We learn we're going to die, and we cry because we don't want to. So in the interim, I figure it's pretty okay to do that. But let's do something about it. Like Ed might want me to do something now because Charlie brought us good luck coming on the stage. Would you like for
I want to be sure. Now, wait a minute. Are we... No, not quite yet. I don't think so.
No.
We're just going to tell them who's coming up in the next hour.
Oh.
But possibly during that hour, I might have a surprise for you.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Then why don't you tell us about what's coming up in the next hour?
Wouldn't that be a good idea?
I'm glad you thought of it.
Thank you.
You're welcome, I'm sure.
Coming up in the next hour, Jerry will welcome the McGuire sisters, the fresh and vivacious American Tap Orchestra, the musically acclaimed but outrageously off-the-wall Les Faux Braques, and much more. So stay with us, because if you miss a little, you'll miss a lot.
Yeah! Woohoo! Good afternoon.
Charlie Wedemeyer was one of Hawaii's most talented high school athletes, but it's what he accomplished in his fight with Lou Gehrig's disease that he's remembered and respected for today. Wedemeyer died this morning in California due to complications from the disease. KITV-4's Jill Kuramoto looks back at his remarkable life and the legacy he left behind.
There are hundreds of stories of Charlie Wedemeyer's accomplishments on the court and field.
He'd call timeouts, he'd make audibles. He just seemed to have a knack for doing something special when it needed to be done.
Wedemeyer was a multi-sport athlete at Punahou School and was voted Prep Athlete of the Decade. Those who grew up with him remember him for being humble, despite his immense talent.
I remember he challenged me to a game of horse just on the side basket, which is kind of neat. There's he's a senior, he's 9 years older than you, and he's this star that you looked up to.
Wedemeyer was a receiver at Michigan State and played semi-pro football for 2 years before settling in Los Gatos, California, where he taught math and coached high school football. But it's his life after being diagnosed with A.L.S. at age 32 that earned him the most accolades.
That wasn't just athletics that he affected, but he affected us outside that world, and that you can do things that you never thought you were capable of doing. And the only limitations was what you put on yourself.
A.L.S. is a degenerative nerve condition and usually fatal within 3 years of diagnosis. Doctors at the time gave Wedemeyer a year to live. But he continued to coach and became a motivational speaker with his wife Lucy, his high school sweetheart, as his voice. 2 movies and a book were made about his life. And he shared his message to everyone from prison inmates to Punahou football players.
You can deal with adversity, you can deal with setbacks, and you can still make an impact.
Wedemeyer recently had been hospitalized and had undergone 2 major surgeries. Charlie Wedemeyer was 64.
He was a teammate. He's a team man all the way. So we'll miss him.
Jill Kuramoto, KITV4 News.